What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cool Fred's Garage. Still working on the 1978 Malibu Classic. So this is the engine swap project that I did. Took out the original 305. I'm gonna put a Performance 350 in here that was built by a Speed Shop. So last video I finished out the drivetrain. Engine transmission installed, wrapped up some of the things with the transmission, got the drive shaft, and got pretty much the drive line and everything connected in the car. So I'm gonna show you guys what I got going on with it right now. All right, so next up, we got a few goodies over here on the table here. Got a set of some shorty headers by Flowtech, and got a Brawler carburetor. I'm not sure what size this carburetor is, but so basically, I'm gonna start test fitting some of these parts on the car just to kind of see how they lay out and stuff, and how much room I got for other stuff. The customer also has got a carburetor spacer right here. So this looks like a 1-inch spacer, and it's got all the gaskets and everything that you'll need to get it installed. So and it's also got the carburetor spacer studs. It's got the studs that go with the spacer. All of that's in that box. So basically I just got to start kind of, bolting these parts on and kind of see what we got and what I need to do to make everything work. So another thing we got going on is basically I noticed that on the carburetor, how the fuel line is coming to the back. So that's pretty much in dyno mode. That's pretty much how they was running it on the dyno. So he wants a fuel pressure gauge on here too. It looks like there's a provision for one there, but because it's flipped backwards from where they had it on the dyno, you can't really see it. It would hang to the bottom, but once I put that forward facing, because pretty much that kind of makes the most sense, because usually, it's, I guess, more heat back in the engine compartment in the back side of it. I'm not sure if anybody ever ran one of these fuel lines this way. If you guys ever seen it, you can just put something down in the comments and let me know. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have to, I'm gonna flip this fuel line around the other way once I get it installed on the car. And then these shorty headers, they should work out perfect. Shouldn't have any clearance issues or nothing, but I'm not gonna know until I test fit them. So this one right here, this one is the passenger side, and that one right there is the driver's side. So in case you guys want to know what part number those headers are, they're from Flowtech. From Flowtech, and we got part number 31108 FLT, and these are the ceramic coated. So they also got, they come with some bolts to secure it. They come with the header bolts, and then we got the gaskets right here. So I'm gonna use those gaskets. They also come with collectors, and I'm trying to see if they come with collector gaskets. I'm not sure, but there's some collectors and collector bolts inside another box that I just tossed in the car, because he'll need that when he goes to the exhaust shop to get the exhaust hooked up. So I'm gonna start test fitting these parts, and then we'll see how they look on the motor, and I'll see what all I need to change. So I decided to go ahead and jump into start doing this, because pretty much I can do everything else around this stuff here. Now I'm not sure about like how much clearance he's gonna have as far as between the hood. It looks like it'll visually fit, but he's probably gonna have to run like a low profile air cleaner, to get the hood closed and stuff like that. I'm not sure how all that's gonna work out, because this is already a high rise air gap intake. So he's gonna be very close to having some hood clearance issues, depending on how tall that carburetor sticks up especially with running the spacer. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some of this stuff rolling, and then I'll just come back and fire up the camera and we'll see what we got. Alright, so first order of business, I started off on the driver's side here since I was already close to this side. And I started test fitting the header, and I noticed that I was kind of getting close to this fuel vapor. Basically, this is the vapor line that goes to the charcoal canister up here. So basically all the raw fuel vapors, or the kind of like the vent line. So I've kind of had to just kind of massage and bend it out of the way. So I've got it bent out of the way, but you notice I went on and wrapped it with some heat wrap down there. So this right here is the DEI 3/4 heat protector wrap. So because basically you don't want anything that's like hot, like your exhaust, you know, coming in contact with like transmission lines and fuel lines. Even though it's the vapor line, still it could have, you know, some raw fuel or whatever in there, and you know, you want to just keep your chance of having a fire down to a minimum. So I went on and wrapped that. So pretty much these clamps here, it's like a 13 millimeter. You can see right here that I've already taken that one off, and that's what I did. I kind of moved it, and it's actually another clamp down there that I went on and I secured that one back already, but it's right there in that area. Maybe a little bit tricky to see, but it's right there. So I just put that one back, and I slid this. I just measured what I needed, because that way I can make the most use of this wrap stuff I got. So I got that wrapped up in the area where it's gonna have the most contact, and like I said, I also kind of bent it and moved it out of the way, so I should have a little bit more clearance now. So I'm gonna go ahead and install this header back and see what it looks like. All right, so now I'm in the process of securing this bolt for this line back. So I know a lot of guys, when they're doing engine swaps, so a lot of people, you know, they always say that they remove all the emission control things and stuff like that. But in the case of the charcoal canister, that's something that, you know, I think is good to retain, so you actually have a place for your fuel vapors to go. And then if you connect it up, back, take it that this one's working. I'm not sure if this one's all plugged up or if it works, but it's got like a vacuum control valve here that basically at a certain point it'll pull vacuum. I'm not sure exactly how this one works, because this one has like a couple, but it's supposed to, you know, under, I guess, part throttle or under a vacuum, it's supposed to let some of the vapors escape this tank and burn through the engine with, you know, through the, you know, carburetor or whatever like that. So I did swap it out on my car. On that 73 Impala, I put a newer style. I couldn't find the original one, because the original one, some of them have like these valves and stuff in here, and they're made by Rochester Products, and some of them are made by a few other people. But I did find a solution. You do have to do a little bit of modifications, and I ended up going with a separate control valve. So I do have some footage on it. I'll probably put that video out, you know, sometime in the near future. But you know, it's just a good idea, because if you don't have anywhere for your fuel vapors to go, like your tank, you know, you can have problems. It won't vent properly. You can have problems filling up, and when you get ready to go get gas, once you release the gas cap, you can have pressurized vapor there and stuff like that. So that's just something to kind of think about, you know. I'm all for removing like the smog pump and all the restrictive exhaust and all that stuff that a lot of these cars come with. That's, you know, in the catalytic converter era. But some things you actually probably need to kind of keep and hold on to, and you know. But that's just my thought. But now I'm about to go ahead and test fit this header back and see if it fits a lot better. So pretty much I'm just don't want that vapor line there touching right up against it. So I insulated it to keep the heat off of it once the car is running and everything. So we should be good on this side. Alright, so here we go. So the left side header on the driver's side is fitting perfect. There is a little bit of some clearance issue down there, but I can just kind of just bend that that vapor line out of the way a little bit. But it is kind of out of the way, but it is kind of almost touching. But I can get it out of the way enough to get the clearance that I need out of it. But this header right here on this side fits pretty good. So this is pretty much like a mid-length header, to be honest with you. I know I said shorty headers. They're probably still classify these as shorty headers, but it's kind of like instead of just a full length, it's more like they're more like a mid-length. So these are good for like mid-range torque and stuff like that. So I mean, I think it's a good choice for this car, and they actually look pretty good. So I recommended that he get the ceramic coated to keep the heat temperatures down under the hood. So ceramic coating is good at maintaining the heat and keeping the heat out of the engine bay. So, but around our the shifter linkage and the steering column shaft and all that, so you got real good clearance. So that's real good. So I'm just gonna get these things snugged down. Get these things snugged down on this side, and so the left side header is pretty much in. Just got to make a little bit of a minor adjustment down there to see if I can get that that vapor line kind of just tweaked so it's just not sitting right on it. But that's one of the reasons I did wrap it. I wrapped it so you know it's it's protected. So alright, so I did get this header in on this side of the gate. I did get it torqued down. That fuel vapor line is still a bit close, but I can do a little bit of maneuvering to get it out of the way. Another thing I did notice is the brake line. I believe that brake line goes to the passenger front over there. That is awfully close, so I'm about to talk to the customer about getting it rerouted, or possibly you know what it's gonna take to reroute it, because that's gonna take possibly a couple hours of labor. I can kind of if I were to do it, I'm not sure if he's gonna let the shop that's gonna do the exhaust do it, but we'll see. But if I were to do it, I can kind of pretty much keep the same outline of how it's routing. But once I get to this area here, I have to figure out how to basically make a detour and just kind of just get it clear of the header and then back to the proportion valve manifold. So I'm gonna pretty much deal with that later, but I'll let them know about it. So I moved on to the carburetor. I've switched the fuel feed line. I've got that switched around. So however, the guys who built the motor at the speed shop, they had it backwards, I guess, because it would work perfect with their dyno system they had. But I needed to swap it around to work in the car, because it would be kind of awkward with the fuel feed line being in the back, because the fuel pump and all that stuff is in the front. So I did that. He did have a separate like gauge manifold for the the pressure gauge, but this right here has one right here. So we're gonna use this. I'm gonna put this pressure gauge in this line here, and he can take that other part back that he has. And I'll show you guys what it looks like in a little bit, and I'm gonna stick it on top here and see how it goes. But pretty much from what I can see so far, because I did just test fit that carburetor a little bit ago. It fits on here perfect, but there may be some hood clearance, especially trying to run a air cleaner. That's gonna be a little bit of a challenge. So I'm not sure if he still want to keep the spacer or want to delete the spacer. I guess we can talk about that later, but we'll see. But that's what we got so far.